And good evening. Welcome to Gator's Garage, the home of all things historical gaming in and around the great city of Savannah, Georgia. I'm here along with my friend Randy Yon. Say hi to the folks, Randy.
Hey, everybody.
And just wanted to welcome you all here before we get too deep. Just a reminder, if you like what we're doing, like, share, subscribe, all the YouTube things. Leave a comment down below for the algorithm. If you want to help us out a little more, you can buy us a cup of coffee at Patreon or Ko-Fi. Again, links in the bottom. Or, hey, swing on over to Gator Games and Books to pick up some of your bolt action and help keep the channel on the air. In the meantime, we've got a special presentation. So here you go. We're going to start off talking about our Dakka Stuart's dead.
All right, men, let's dump these bloody things in the ocean. Headquarters says they're no good anymore. What the bloody hell are you doing, man? Sir, we have orders to dump these tanks in the ocean. They're no good anymore. Says who? That's come from headquarters, sir. Well, I happen to know that they're still good. I've got a couple gents that will explain why. So stop dumping them in the ocean. But, sir, headquarters said they're not worth the fuel to take them back to the States. Fuel, you bloody idiot. This ship is nuclear powered. Oh, damn it. Probably shouldn't have said that. That wasn't supposed to be out until after we dropped the A-bomb on Japan. Well, y'all forget you heard that, okay? So stop dumping these in the ocean. All right, sir, you're the captain. Righto, let's get these things back to Normandy where they can do some bloody good.
All right, well, there you go. So we've decided we're not going to dump our Stuarts in the ocean here. Gonna keep them handy. Randy and I wanted to talk the case for keeping those Dakka tanks. Stuarts and other Dakka tanks, are they still useful? Talk to us, Randy. Why do you think Dakka tanks are still useful?
Yeah, so, I mean, they cut down the shots. So they used to have 18 shots. Now they have 9. Right. And so everybody's like, well, they're no good anymore. And so my argument is that the 9 shots are more useful now in version 3 than the 18 were in version 2. So if you think about it, if you got a small infantry unit, a mortar team, or whatever, and a Stuart rolls up and shoots 18 shots at you, what are you going to do? Probably going to go down. Yeah. So now you got movement, cover, maybe small team, down. You're hitting on 7s. So that means you're probably not even getting a pin because it's happened so many times. So in version 3, 9 shots, you roll up, you're hitting on 5s. And most people may not go down. It doesn't matter whether they go down or not because you're still hitting on 5s. And you're going to get that pin regardless. And you're probably going to do more wounds because with the 7s, you don't have 7s anymore.
Right.
Those 9 shots are going to cause at least a casualty and a pin.
Well, you're not guaranteed to get those hits, though. You're still going to, if they go down. That's right. You're still hitting on 5s. You're right. You're going to get the pins.
And I'm going to tell you,
getting used to that.
If I roll 9 dice and I don't get a 5, I'm taking those and throwing them in the trash can. I'm going to get out some more dice out of my box because they hate me. And I'm not going to win a game with them dice, so they're gone. But
wait a minute,
yeah.
my dice do that to me all the time.
So the other thing is range. So long range is no
Right.
longer a factor. So in version 2,
Right.
you wanted to move that Stuart up into short range, 18 inches. So you're going to be moving. But the problem is now you're in Panzerfaust danger, bazooka danger, dog mines. But in version 3, I can stay out at 36 inches and still be the same. I don't have to move. I can hit on 4s. I don't have to move. I can put it on ambush. And then the other thing is the anti-tank gun. So in version 2, that was useless. You only fired that as a last resort because it just didn't do anything. But in version 3, if I sit still, I'm hitting on 3s.
That's right.
Yeah. So even if
It's
they're in
still a
hard
light
cover,
anti-tank gun, though.
even if they're in hard cover, I'm going to hit on 3s, and even a Tiger, I'm going to pin it. So, yeah, in version 2, long range, hard cover, 6, I'm probably not going to hit it. Even if I do, maybe I don't pin it.
Right.
Because they get to roll 4 up, and if they're regular. Yeah.
Pretty interesting. Okay, so don't put those Dakka tanks away yet. Now, interestingly enough, in one of our lists we're going to review today, there is a Panzer One, and so that is 2 medium machine guns, 6 dice, not quite the 9 that the old Stuart has there, but still 6, and still all the same things.
Yeah.
They're going to hit you on 4s and 5s. They're going to probably get pins on you. I mean, great infantry hunters. So I think you make some good points. What we'll tell, of course, is as we winkle out the lists, which continue to remain just the Wild West. You guys, wait till you see these army lists, man. It is just absolutely amazing.
So you got the Panzer One up there, but there's another German tank that's even better, and that's the Panzer III, the early year with the light anti-tank gun. So they have 2 coax machine guns.
Really?
Yeah. So they got a whole machine gun. So there's 3 machine guns.
There's 9.
That's 12 shots.
Hey, you know what? With the Germans, that's 12. As a matter of fact, this little Panzer II is going to roll 8.
That's
so
really good.
It's just a little bit. Yeah, that got to remember that Hitler's buzzsaw.
Yeah,
man, that's amazing. Wow. That's just the first start of the show, folks. We got a good one for you today. So good points, Randy. Again, it's going to be up to the player. We're going to see a player here that really makes good use of these Dakka tanks. He puts them in with a Mark III. Well, y'all will see it. So here you go. So we, as we often do, we're going to continue reviewing some of the Army lists. Gator's going to start doing something a little bit different. We're actually going to have copies of these Army lists available on our Patreon. So swing on over to our Patreon page and sign up, and you'll get access to all these lists. At the very least, you can copy them or even use them as a basis to build your own armies. So here you go. We're going to start off with the Rangers. Why? Because they lead the way.
Yeah.
So, Randy, this is your army list, so tell us about it.
So, and this is my army. I've been wanting to play my Rangers for a while, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to play for Warzone. So this tournament's going to be a real good. And if you'll notice, I've been telling you about how Stuarts are. You look at my list. All right. So, platoon commander, inexperienced, single man, just paying the tax. They're still good, though. I mean, you get a +2 bonus for morale, so it's good to have them around. But like before, you just wanted to hide them. If I have points left over, I don't mind building a 3-man regular with submachine guns, just because they're a nice little shooty unit.
Sure.
But I've spent quite a bit elsewhere here, so I've got 4 squads of Rangers. They're all 7-man veterans.
I see that.
No BARs.
Okay.
So BARs are not as good as they used to be. They're a little more expensive, and they take away from fire and maneuver for the Americans. So with
6 riflemen, you're going to still get you're going to get 8 shots, which is just like having a BAR without having to pay for one.
Yeah, and I've got 7 men, so I'll have a total of 9 shots coming out of each squad.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, last we talked, though, after reviewing the last tournament, you had mentioned that smaller squads, that maybe larger squads were the way to go. And I noticed you're still keeping them a little bit on what I would call the medium side, if you will. I tend to run
Yeah,
a 5-man squad. You're up to 7 here. Go ahead.
yeah, because
Tell us about that.
so I had 7-man regulars in my last tournament, and so the
Right.
regulars just died a little too quickly. So I'm going to see how 7-man veterans do.
Okay.
Yeah,
That makes an amount of sense. Oh, I see what you did here. Your first squad has a submachine gun in it, and then the
yeah,
rest of them are all rifles.
yeah. I had 4 points left over, and rather than just leave it on the table,
Yeah.
I went ahead and put it in there, and I still got the 6 rifles to get the extra 2 shots.
Yes.
And the good
Being
thing
a
about the Rangers is that they had to lead the way. So I'm going to move up another 12 inches, so I won't need machine guns because my rifles will be in range.
That's a great point.
Yeah,
So, okay.
and taking 4 is good because I've run like 2 squads of Rangers before, and if you push 2 squads up, a lot of times they'll get isolated and pinned down. But with 4 of them pushing up, it's just a whole wall of infantry that they're going to have to deal with.
I can see you pushing. I can see you doing it a couple of ways. Heavens, one of these days we might even do a tactics session here using our PowerPoints. But I
Yep.
can see you pushing 2 squads to the middle and 2 squads in the flank,
Mm-hmm.
or 1 squad up and 3 back, or even 3 up and 1 back to act as a reserve. So yeah,
Like,
4 squads, 4 maneuver elements, plus the platoon commander gives you a lot of maneuver options.
yeah, yeah.
So
Okay,
here we have
so
your support, your infant. I guess your integrated support for the platoon.
yeah, I got a bazooka. Um, I threw in a light mortar. Made him regular because I've got spotters, and I want them to be able to spot for the light mortar. I'm just going to kind of hide the light mortar somewhere and let the spotters spot for them.
Okay, I had thought that light mortars could not be spotted for at all.
Yeah, they can. It's actually it's in. I don't know if it's in the errata or the FAQ, but
Right.
as long as they're regular or veteran, any indirect can use the spotter line of sight. They don't have to have it in there where they can actually take one.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was also something that addressed multi launchers that cannot use spotters. Multi launchers cannot
Okay.
use spotters. So.
Hmm.
So I got a white scout car, and let's see, did I take a company
And it's got
commander?
a
Did we pass?
forward-facing heavy machine gun.
Yeah,
That's
did we
that
pass
infamous
over?
mod deuce with a +1 penetration.
Did we miss the company commander?
Maybe
Should be a company commander on here.
he may be on the next slide.
Now, he should have been above the bazooka.
Okay, may have missed him when I was flipping the page.
Could be.
Yeah, I may not have picked up the company commander.
Okay.
My apologies.
Yeah. So I've got a company commander, which they got a +4 bonus, and they can snap to four extra orders.
Wow.
And
Yep.
I'm gonna place him in the scout car.
Okay.
To because he can use his ability inside the car, and that'll protect him from being picked off.
All right.
Even if he gets pinned, he's got a +4, so he's not going to have a problem passing orders.
Okay. Yeah, because he can use his own. He can use his own morale rating, can he?
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So on to your second platoon there.
Yep. Heavy weapons platoon. Another inexperienced officer. I'm bringing a heavy mortar for the first mortar. because I
Yep.
want one that has a little more punch to it, that can actually knock out a tank or really
Yeah.
wipe out a whole squad, even knock down a building. It has the ability to do enough hits to bring a building down. So I spent a little bit more on that one, and it's got a spotter. Then I've got another mortar team with a spotter. So I got 2 spotters that can spot for all
See
my
that,
mortars everywhere. So I got
right?
4 mortars total. Another medium mortar. So I'll
Yep.
have a lot of indirect fire. And then I brought
Yeah,
another
you will.
bazooka. I got 2 bazookas, so that's going to take care of any anti-tank issues. They'll be able to hunt tanks. And if somebody jumps in a building, I'm going to shoot at the building because that's a 2-inch HE. That's a lot of hits against the infantry in the building.
I really like that they have upgraded the shape charge weapons to have,
Yes.
uh, an anti-infantry effect. And actually, traditionally, that is exactly what they used Panzerfaust and bazookas for, was units that are in bunkers or
Yeah.
buildings.
Bunker
So
busting.
that is
Yep.
probably one of the best improvements I've seen in version 2.
I
That's
can't
that's
wait till we
that's
run
pretty
Carrington
excellent.
again.
Oh, jeez.
Gonna bust him.
Hide the buildings if you want to, Jerry. Oh
Well,
my
and you got
God.
to. You got to defend the building. So
Right.
my
Right.
bazooka's coming hunting.
Yeah. Yeah. And that technique for the U.S. Army would remain the same for the next 30 years,
Yeah.
25 years. In 68 and Tet, the Marines, when they went into Way City, used 3.5-inch bazooka launchers basically to punch holes in buildings and clear the VC outs and the NVA.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a weapon that's going to be part of the U.S. Army for a good long time and with good reason. All right, let's talk
And
armor.
armor. All right. So first up is the M16 4 heavy machine guns.
Yeah,
This is going to be chopping up infantry.
don't get to the chopper.
I cannot wait to run. I've got an M15 on the shelf, and I would probably throw it in here too if I had the points. But
Oh my gosh.
yeah, this one though, and even armored cars and soft skins. I've actually watched a game of Schola Progenium where they knocked out a Panzer III with one of these. They
Really?
got around beside it, and you're
Right.
hitting it 12 times, because I think he got point blank. So it upped the penetration, and I mean, you just lit that Panzer tank right up.
Wow. Now you say 12 times, but it says 4 turret mounted HMGs
Yep.
with 6 shots.
Yep. So each one of them has 6 when they're firing flak. So you'll actually have
Okay.
24 shots flak fire. So if somebody's bringing an airplane, it's not coming in. It's going down. And there
Ma
again,
Deuce says no thank you.
if I roll 24 dice and I don't get 3 5s out of that, those dice are going in the trash.
Wow, man. I can see it now. We want you to strike Randy's Americans. Oh no. I've
No.
heard about his Dakka half track. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that'd probably have a bullseye on it. If somebody has an airstrike, they'd probably like, we got to take that out before we bring the airstrike in.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's gonna catch Panzer Shrek, Panzerfaust, bazooka, anti-tank weapons, whatever can reach it, unless and of course you're gonna have it. And that's the challenge with air defense. You want a nice wide open field of fire, but on the other hand, if you're too wide open, somebody will pick you off with a long range shot. So
Yeah.
again, okay, what threat do you want to deal with first? Oh, look, 2 of those famous Dakka Stuarts.
So there's the Stuarts. I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to bring 2 Stuarts, and I'm going to prove that they're gonna work.
All
Now,
right.
are they the best tank in the game? No, not anymore. They used to be, but
Okay.
I think the Crusader's probably a little bit better tank with its twin autocannons. And of course,
Double A
the
Crusader.
Panzer III with 12 shots is better than the
Yeah.
Stuart because it's got more shots. But
Okay.
yeah.
let's see. And I believe that is the end of your armor, and that's the end of your
Yep.
force.
Yep. That
Okay.
should be it.
Randy, good luck with your troops, man, and good
Thank
luck
you.
at the event. Looks like a solid list. I wouldn't mind disassembling it, but I'd have to be real careful. All right. Fantastic. So let's take a look at the next list, and that's going to be let's see here. That's you. Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Airborne. There you go. There we go. So yeah, this is the next list. Now this list was prepared by Marcus Pagoria. Now is Marcus stateside or is he one of our European friends?
No,
Oh,
he's
he's fall offensive, right?
yeah, he's in Jacksonville area, somewhere around
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Well, he's got to come. He needs to come out and play with us here in Savannah.
Yeah. He's been up
That would-
so he's been to one of our tournaments, I think.
Okay.
And I know he came up to Cerebus's tournament one time and played.
It's a bit of a hop from Jacksonville,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we're always happy to see our neighbors. And he's running airborne now. Couldn't figure out which one I wanted to respect more, so we got both the 101st and the 82nd. So there you go.
They're both
Randy's a
good.
fan of the 101st, and my dad's an alumni of the 82nd, so I really don't have a choice in the matter.
Yeah.
All right. Here's his first platoon.
All right.
Now he's doing like Randy. Go ahead, Randy. We got that one submachine gun. It looks like a regular officer.
Yeah, he's regular. So go back to his the front page. I want to say. Oh, it doesn't show it. Okay, so I want to say he has 1,244 points in this list. So I was looking at this, and one regular guy is not going to be much more survivable under fire than one inexperienced guy. You really got to just be careful with him. I think I would have saved the 9 points and added
Right.
it to the 4 or 6 that he was short, I think. And then threw another airborne dude in one of these squads.
Yeah.
So he's got all rifles. So he's taking advantage of fire and maneuver, trying to get maximum firepower here. So his first squad with 10 rifles, that will be another 3 shots. So he'll have 13 shots coming out of this squad.
Yeah, I think I would have dropped that one rifle down to that second squad and given them 9.
Even. Make them even.
Yep, would have made them even, and then would have given them both 12 shots.
Yeah, because 10's not full strength. I mean, if he was going to bring them full strength, I can see an argument for that because they get a re-roll and they're on their order checks.
Yeah.
But and they're regular, which is kind of unusual. Airborne squad that's regular.
Yeah.
I actually would argue the case that they ought to have a green, like Fallschirmjägers have green Fallschirmjägers. They should have green airborne because there was a lot of airborne guys that were right out of jump school and thrown into the fight, and some of them performed and some of them didn't. When they actually got into combat. So I think a green option would be appropriate for them.
Certainly for Normandy. I know the Sicily drops. You were by the time the first units that went into Sicily they were able to draft a lot of veterans from the North African campaign and leaven the units with those.
Yeah.
But you may well be right going into Normandy. Certainly when you get into Varsity and Market Garden, you're definitely going to have some green troops in there.
Yeah.
I think that was part of the challenge at the Battle of the Bulge. So yeah, absolutely. So and then he does have a forward observer, and you said you think this is for he says this is an artillery forward observer. So he's not taking any chances with that Dakka halfback.
Yeah. Okay, so that's interesting. Yeah, so he'll get one strike, which is okay. It's not as good as the British one, but you got to be careful with it.
as I was telling you earlier, some of the new kits now that are going to be coming out. I haven't ordered any for the store yet, but I'm seeing the new observer kits are coming out with 3 guys,
Yeah.
and so they're beefing those observers up and turning them more into almost light squads or heavy
Light
teams.
squad, like a
So
little, yeah.
yeah, so it's going to be real interesting the way both players and Warlord begins to kind of adjust the number of figures in a given unit. You could almost even make the case to have the option to add extra men to both bazooka teams and ATR teams, just to provide local security. Of course, you and I have talked offline that I'd like to see an opportunity to bury those bazookas and ATRs just in with regular squads,
Hmm.
where they become just an integrated part of the squad. And I hate it for the riflemen, but then you at least have them to provide some meat shields and make your expensive heavy weapons a little bit more survivable.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. All right. So second platoon, he's got a heavy weapons platoon.
Yep.
So he has another officer with a regular with a submachine gun. This is one I would definitely take an inexperienced officer, because the heavy weapons officer he's gonna be hiding behind all this stuff, probably in cover, trying to get these mortars to fire, and snap too. He can obviously call both of these. I think I would have had more mortars here. As good as the machine gun is now, I think I would probably rather have had another medium mortar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And he's got a bazooka team.
He's got a bazooka. Yeah, because they're just too good. Got to have them. If you're
Gotta have
American,
them. Yeah.
yeah, you got to have a bazooka if you're running Americans.
And it's, and historically, that's what you had. I mean, it was just by about 40, certainly by 44, about every American platoon had at least one bazooka, if not two, issued to them. So,
Yeah,
again, pretty solid.
yeah,
I still like regular veteran over green. I just can't get my head around that.
yeah. Third platoon, he's bringing an artillery platoon.
Yep.
Another regular NCO or officer here for a unit
Right.
that's way in the back line. I think I would have definitely brought him in experience as well. And
Okay.
those 9 points, he could have bumped them up, somewhere else in the list. Maybe even made the infantry headquarters unit 3-man regular.
Okay.
So then they would actually have some bite to them.
Right. Right. I like those 3 to 4 man teams on headquarters units, especially for the infantry, because they're going to be up there mixing it up.
Yeah. So there's one of these.
Now he did not take an extra spotter either.
Yeah, he did.
And
The first one has a spotter, but
does it?
yeah, I mean, I guess that's
Yeah,
good.
okay. Yeah.
It's not going to help him much for the howitzers, really, because they've extended the minimum range too much. But he can still use that spotter for his mortars.
Right.
So if one of them gets picked off, he's still got some redundancy built in his spotters. He'll be able to use
And
the
I'll be
forward artillery observer as a spotter, plus the
yes.
2 spotters he has.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I've never used onboard artillery, so I didn't notice the change. But to be honest, this probably better reflects, really, if you're using this type of gun,
Realistic,
it
yeah,
represents that the bad guys have gotten into your rear area, and somebody has really, they've really stepped in it.
yeah,
Yeah, 36 inches. So most deployment areas are going to be 12 inches in. So unless you're firing, corner to corner, you're not going
yeah,
to get the maximum indirect value out of these guys. Now, firing over open sites, 3-inch HE is nothing to sneeze at,
yeah. And don't
and going
step
to
in a
be.
building.
I was going to
You
say
know,
it's going to be havoc on buildings.
you,
So and unlike and you can move these. You move them, I think 6 inches. It
yeah,
costs you as a run, whatever. You're not going to move and fire a heavy weapon anyway.
yeah,
So they're useful. Um, I'm not convinced that I would put points into a fixed artillery platoon myself.
they went
Not
up
at
in
this scale.
points. See how much they went up, because they used to be like 75 points, and now they're 90 and 100 with a spotter, but
Interesting.
75. So
Yeah.
Artillery wise for Americans, I think I would either take a Bofors gun, heavy autocannon.
Okay.
Yeah. And then maybe once the Army Zub book comes out, we'll have access to the 114 multi rocket launcher, and that'd be a great option for the Americans.
How about the airborne pack howitzer?
Yeah.
Anything about that?
So light howitzers kind of took a hit. Their minimum range went up to 30, I think. They
Okay.
used to be 24, so even 30 inches is tough to get an indirect fire shot. And
Right.
they're not like the British where they actually have an AP shell. They're just HE, so
Right.
they don't quite have as much bite as the British. So I don't know if they're worth taking, really.
Okay. Here's his armored platoon.
Armored platoon, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how he does with this Hellcat because I've got one and I like it. I really like it. When we first started playing, you remember I used to run the Hellcat and my M15 together.
Oh gosh, yes. And it's, I
they were
mean, a turret
devastating.
mounted heavy AT gun,
Yeah,
72-inch range is going to hit you anywhere on the table.
and it's wrecky.
On a 3+ because it's an anti-tank gun. I think you still have range effects for armor penetration.
Yeah.
But he's at least more likely to get a hit.
Oh
And
gosh.
check
Yeah,
that out. That pintle mounted 50 cal is also flak. So go ahead and bring your plane in if you want to get it shot down. So that's pretty good.
So he added the points for the heavy machine gun. I might have left that off because this role is really just for hunting tanks. And I mean, you could throw a pin on a tank with it easy enough, but I wouldn't want to. It's open top, so I don't want to get too close to rifle fire.
That's true.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're not a bad point. And again, in the new rules, they really favors tanks like this laying back. And I mean, it's got a 2-inch HE. So if you need to dig infantry out, I guess the only thing, well, that heavy also reaches out 48 inches. So you're still way outside of infantry range, and you can bring some pain, and you'll roll 3 dice instead of 1, and still get a penetration. So I kind of like them both. I've come to see the value of both machine guns and guns on both on tanks, and I've often suffered the lack when I didn't have some kind of either coax. Interestingly enough, this doesn't have a coax, so if you don't mount the pintle mounted heavy, you don't have an MG on this thing.
Yeah, and that's one argument for the pintle too would be like most tanks, like the Stuart is not open top. So if you add a pintle to it and you fire it, you become open top. But this one's already open top, so you might as well have the gun up there.
And since you don't have a coax, in which most tanks have a coax, so if you don't have a coax, you really you're leaving dice on the table when it comes to trying to engage infantry. So again, we both love the Hellcat. It's a solid vehicle at 185 points and capable of dealing with pretty much anything in the Axis arsenal. So that's pretty good.
Yep.
There's our friend, the M3 Scout car. Again, another pintle mounted heavy.
Yeah. So I think I kind of talked him into this one. I just told him, he wanted some kind of armored car, and I thought that would be the best one. It's about the cheapest one you can get, and it still has it's only a front arc. So unless you pay the extra points, it's a front arc instead of a pintle.
Yeah, if your point, and I don't have this one in my inventory. I probably should for my US. I tend to run that M20, but that M20 is a much more expensive vehicle.
Yeah, I used to, let's see, when I first was running my Americans, I would throw an engineer squad in this thing. And because it's wheeled, I could stick it on a road and just run right up on top of somebody and then jump my engineer squad out and just flamethrow them. And
tell me about it.
It was super effective. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Like now the flamethrowers kind of got a nerf, so I don't know about that, but they're still good transport.
Yeah. And hey, wait, we've got more. So platoon 5. This guy really has a lot of platoons. Kind of interesting.
So you
Um,
got the Recce
right.
platoon.
Recce infantry with
Yep.
another artillery forward observer. So he's really hoping to be able to make
Oh,
use of his OBA.
yeah.
Um, got an airborne squad, and he can carry them all in a M2 half track with a pintle mounted heavy machine gun.
Yeah, I think this half track and the other scout car is where his forward observers are going to be.
What I would do,
Yeah,
because remember in the new, in version 3, your officers, your forward observers, who else can operate from inside of a medic?
a
Can
medic.
all operate. Yeah, they
Isn't
can
that
all operate from
amazing?
inside these. Nobody
Yeah,
has nobody in these lists has any, but that's a really nice change that the armored transports have come back into their own as for what they were used for, and that was to get important things up to the front with a level of protection.
yeah. So like your soft skin trucks, when they transported troops up, they always stopped well behind the front lines, and the troops had to make their way the rest of the way up. But with an armored transport, they would push them all the way right up into the fight.
Yeah, yeah, Germans and Americans especially did that, and I would bet even the French did. I mean, the French were pretty aggressive with how they used their armor.
Yeah,
Ask the Germans; they'll tell you about it. So that's pretty cool. All right, and that's the end. That's the end of Marcus's force. I guess I'd say company, because, and honestly, these are not armies. They're really companies. Where the level that we're playing at, going to
yeah.
be exciting. A lot of dice. Let's close that out,
He had no
and
tanks in that list.
just the tank destroyer. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's right. Yeah, he did have that. Yeah.
right. Our last army list is from our good friend John Connor.
Yep.
He's running a German hare, and I did confirm with him he is running German hare. So German grenadiers, everybody's favorite, good all through the war. Always had lots of light machine guns. Added a lot of assault rifles as you got later into the war, and just a good solid infantry force to have around. He's going to open up with a 2-man command team. There's inexperienced, so Brandy, he's kind of splitting the difference between us.
Yeah.
He's got 2 guys, but they're inexperienced, so that's
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. And then he's going with some beefy squads. It looks like 4 8-man
Eight
squads.
man. Yep.
Yep.
So the one
Um,
thing I like about the Hair Grenadiers is
yeah.
they're allowed to take 2 light machine guns.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
That's
This
a
is
lot
going
of
to be a fun
firepower in
force to
these 4
play.
squads.
Yeah. So he'll be throwing down one squad will put down 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 shots out of each squad.
You know what I think I would have done with one of these squads
Hmm.
is I would have made, because Grenadiers also can take any number of assault rifles.
Any number?
Any number.
I know the Fallschirmjägers can. I
Yeah.
thought
And
the Grenadiers were limited to like 2.
no, they can take any. It says any model can be equipped with an assault rifle.
Okay.
So you can throw a 6 or 7 man squad with assault rifles, and that's a
Right.
lot of firepower that can move and shoot. So that's
Yes.
key in version 3 is I don't have to. I can hit on 4s now, and if I've got 7 men, it's 14 shots hitting on 4s. You're hitting and it's going out to 18 inches. It's not like it's a submachine gun. So it would do a
Right.
lot of damage.
Yeah. Version 2 didn't just make machine guns great again, made assault rifles great again. Because
Yeah.
then, you never played version 1, but version 1, the assault rifle had a range of 24,
Oh,
which was really all. Oh, yeah. 2 shots out to 24 inches. You can run, but you just die tired. I mean,
yeah.
wow.
I bet you saw a lot
So
of assault rifles there.
a
They-
fair number if you could get them. I'd have to check the
Yeah.
points, but yeah. So swinging over, he's got an
So,
anti-tank element in here or a support element.
yeah, Panzer Shrek team. So that's really good. It's a little pricey. He's got it veteran, um, I guess to make it survive. But
Yeah,
so how much is it
yeah. I
normal?
tend
I
to.
thought they were 80 points, but it says 88. So they must have brought the cost down a little bit on the Panzer Shrek.
thought the Panzerschreck used to be 60.
No, it was 80.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. It was 80. So they took the cost up because it was 80.
Yeah, but that's
And I think
regular.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now he's 88 at veteran. So I'm guessing that about 70 points regular. I don't have the book with me, but
And of course, I don't have mine handy. I probably should for the podcast. But anyway,
yeah.
yeah, I don't have mine handy. Hey, if anybody knows the points, just put it in the comments below and
Okay.
to correct us on that. That'd be fine. But yeah, so good Panzerschreck, and we were just all the things you can say about a bazooka, you can also say about a Panzerschreck. They're just they're good to have around. I like a veteran 2-man team, especially in version 3, to help improve their survivability.
Yeah. You got a light mortar,
Yep.
inexperienced one. So it'll require line of sight.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
But
So
they've increased
regular
the
can use the
range.
spotter. Regular can use the spotter. Inexperienced cannot.
Right. And
Okay.
the good thing is the range is 36 now. So they can kind of stay out of rifle range. They can move and fire. So if an infantry unit's advancing on them, they can always just back up and keep shooting at them.
Yep. Oh, they can move and fire too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
They
Okay.
can't range in when they're
Um,
moving, but they can still move and fire.
okay. So what they do, they would move and then have to roll a 6 to hit?
Yep.
Okay. And then I noticed they can't fire smoke with a light mortar. Couldn't you do that in version 2, fire smoke?
I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Because
always
that was
get a
one of
chuckle
the.
out of yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's why I was like, well, they're actually light mortars and 2 were worth taking just because the cheap unit that can fire smoke and provide cover.
Yes. Which actually was a large part of what the light mortar was for. They
Yeah.
issued smoke rounds for it.
Hmm.
My favorite game has smoke rounds, I think, for both the British and the German mortars.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no smoking version 3, just HE only.
Wow. Okay.
And it looks like he's got a truck here that's
Yeah.
intended to carry these 2 teams around.
Just a cheap truck, 12 transport. So what would he put in that? I surely wouldn't put a small team in there, because if they get a 6 and the truck gets blown up, D6 hits is going to wipe out anything other than a beefy squad that's sitting in it.
Well, honestly, it looks like that's what he intends. Because you got 8 men in his squad. Now you could do the 8 men with a command team, basically have a command squad.
Yeah.
I hear your comment about the risk factor of having 2 guys in there.
Yeah.
But if your soft skin's taking fire, you've screwed the pooch anyway.
Yeah.
Um, it looks like what he intends is maybe a squad for security, with the Panzerschreck and a light mortar team. Get them up and out where you need them, and take off. But then again, that light mortar team does not need to be too deep on the table with a range of 36 inches.
Yeah. I don't think,
Just needs to have a good line
yeah,
of sight.
I would have the mortar team on the table. Maybe the Panzerschreck team. One move with the truck.
Panzerschreck,
Maybe they jump out
yeah,
early, and then you keep on moving on with the infantry after that.
I'm thinking maybe the Panzerschreck team with the lieutenant, with the platoon commander, and then a squad of infantry.
Yeah. See,
And he can do it.
a 6-man grenadier with assault rifles would be, even 2 of them would be perfect in the truck like that. And then you just
Yes.
push it up, and they jump out and bap.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool beans. That was his. Heck, that was just his first platoon.
Yep.
John Connor always builds interesting army lists.
And here
Hey,
we
look,
have
there's your friend, the Panzer
army.
III.
Yep. And I think, has he got the okay, so he took the later version, I believe, with the medium anti-tank gun and just a single coax with a hull MG. So he'll have 8 shots plus the main gun.
Nothing to sneeze at. And that main gun's a mediums. It's the Panzer III with the 5 centimeter gun.
See, with having the Panzerschreck, I think I would have. eh, eh, I think I would have stuck with the Dakka version with 12 shots,
Mm,
and you still have a light AT gun, which is not nothing, but
right.
and that's his command vehicle. That's a little more expensive
Yes.
than I thought it was. 195 points. Oh, I see. So he took the very latest version of it. It's basically a Panzer IV.
Hmm.
It's a
Well,
9
the
armor
four's
instead
got
of 8.
the four's got a heavy anti-tank gun or a super heavy, depending on the
Right.
market gun
It
that's
does have it. Yeah, yeah, and that's why the 4 is like 220 points.
right.
Yeah. So he
Yeah.
just want that 9 armor to be a little more survivable.
Sure. Yeah. And like I say, that medium anti-tank gun is going to deal with most of what you're going to see on the table.
Yeah.
Um, Panzer III, Sherman, good tanks, good solid, moderate tanks, good for dealing with most of your anti-tank work. Good choice. Tigers and Panthers are sexy, but I think I just don't see where you get the return on investment for the amount of for the where else you could use those points to get more activation dice or more shots on your opponent. Here's the Dakka Panzers.
Yep, I got one. There's just a cool little tank. Um, he's
Okay.
got a he's got a few here for 70 points and 8 shots. You can't beat that.
No, no, not at all. And it's armored like an armored car. It's the only downside, but still
Yeah.
pretty useful.
Well,
Of
it's
course,
so
so's the
small
Stuart.
though. Getting line of
Yeah.
sight on, you can hide it real easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Infantryman's nightmare. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Only reason they didn't make more of them is they needed the hulls for other things.
And it's got a martyr.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool little vehicle. I've got a Martyr 3 with the super heavy.
That's it.
I
Yeah.
think it's yeah.
It was a Martyr 3 with a heavy.
Oh, he
So
is
it's
okay. He
75.
does have a Martyr 3. Okay, so it's a heavy
Yep.
anti-tank gun.
Yep.
So that's got quite a bit of punch to it.
Yeah. Plus 6 pen,
Yeah.
72-inch range. And he's got that forward facing MMG with 4 shots.
It's kind of like a Hellcat.
Yeah. Without the Reese.
Um, it's a heck of a lot cheaper though. 145 points.
Yeah. And I think it's built on the hull of like a Panzer II or a Panzer 38.
Yeah,
So
they
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 just took.
utilize some of their old tank chassis for.
You bet.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. And that was the thing. You could often get a fixed heavy gun on a chassis as opposed to a light rotating gun.
Hmm.
And you can argue both ways. I know most of the time in game terms, it's almost six one half dozen the other. The times when a turret's gonna benefit you versus a fixed gun are fairly limited. Ah, yes, and we talked about this when I was reviewing the list. Hey
Artillery
guys,
platoon. Yeah,
yeah,
have some flack.
yeah. Now he's done the right thing with his officer. He's got an inexperienced officer there,
Yep, yep.
but then
Absolutely.
it's
And he's got 4 20 millimeter guns. That's just
yeah,
going to be brutal.
it's a freaking flat fest.
Yeah.
Or a fun flat fest. Say that real fast.
Yeah. If you've ever watched Saving Private Ryan when they're fighting on the bridge, I think they have a twin 20 shooting at infantry. I think they
Yes.
were on top of a tank. These guys were assaulting one of their tanks, and they just cut loose on it, and it just incinerated everybody standing on that tank.
Yep. Tankers call that chasing the fleas off.
Yeah,
Scratching the fleas. So man, yeah. Um, what I mean, a lot of guns range is 48 inches, so he reaches across any play table,
yeah,
and with the ability to spread out, he's going to be able to put flak fire just about anywhere on the table at you.
Yeah, the one thing I
That's
see
pretty.
missing in this list is mortars. There's no
Yeah, no
mortars.
mortars, all direct fire.
So he's going to be these guns are going to be vulnerable to mortar fire. Um, Guys are going to zero in on these things pretty quick.
Heck yeah, make a move.
Yeah.
Because if they move, they can't shoot.
Yep.
And they stay in place more than 1 or 2 turns, they're going to take mortar rounds. You better hope you don't get a first round hit. I've seen those depressingly regular. So that's John's whole force there.
Yeah.
So wow, 3 very good platoons. It looks like the fall. What do they call it?
Fall offensive.
Fall offensive.
Yeah.
Really lightly promoted. I think we've seen it just on Facebook and not even heavy there.
Yeah.
Haven't really seen it posted much into some of the groups. I think you and I have shared the bolt action portion into some of the bolt action groups, and it looks like they're going to get a good turnout. I don't know that I've seen any conversation on Reddit. We're probably the first conversation on YouTube, and I'll be throwing a Facebook link for lack of a better thing here if folks want to follow up on that. But I think it's going to be a good. It looks like it's actually a 2-day con. In addition to this tournament on Sunday, there is a Alpha Strike tournament on Saturday, which I'm going to because I don't like to travel on Sundays.
Yeah.
And Saturday's my birthday. My wife says I can do that as my birthday present. So, and
Yeah,
I got a bunch of mechs that have been just itching to get into some kind of scrap. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And then don't know whatever else they're going to have showing there, but I'm really looking forward to going. I'll get pictures and interview some of the people. Matter of fact, I might reach out to the tournament organizers and see if they want to get interviewed on the channel next week. That would be kind of cool.
There you go. I think
I'll
David Searcamp's the TO, so
okay.
You might reach out to him and see if he wants to come on and
Excellent.
talk about it.
And there's a 40K tournament as well. So the three of the big games that are hot right now are well represented.
Yeah.
Look it up again. Fall offensive, guys. It may be worth your trip down to Ocala. And I got to tell you that Ocala crew they're always got something going on. I'm a little jealous. They really not only got things going on, but got a lot of folks that show up.
Yeah,
But
I wish
Savannah's getting there.
Closer.
Yeah, I know it. We were talking before we went live. Man, wish we lived closer to Ocala. But I got to tell you, my last 2 game days here in Savannah have been real well done. Our monthly meeting was a lot of fun. I think we ended up with like 6 folks, which is about average for us. Father and son that had played in the tournament came and did some more bolt action. Did actually kind of dialed it back to just infantry and support to kind of get a better feel for the mechanics. And then we ended up playing a couple of games of Blood Red Skies, Japanese versus Americans, and had a blast. It was kind of nice to get a little something different on the table too. The historical scene here it's pretty broad. We've got some folks to play Hail Caesar. I've got the Hail Caesar starter set, so we got a little bit going on. Our next big event is going to be, I guess, Thanksgiving, that Saturday before Thanksgiving. Be watching for that. I'll put it up on all the social medias, probably feature it in a couple of videos there. But it's a celebration of all things armor. Randy's trying to get a desert tank game together, so we're working on that. I'm going to be running an Eastern Front winter tank game in 6mm, probably Blitzkrieg Commander with some modifications to the command rules. And then I know our friend James Lee is running Battle of the Bulge at an operational level. So the tanks are coming. If you're a battle tech player and you want to bring some mechs, would love to see you or any other kind of armor. So there you go. Randy, what you got for the good? Anything else for the folks?
Yeah, I was going to say, y'all look out for me and Mike are going to try to do. So you see a lot of these groups do battle reports where they put a camera out and they actually film the whole game and go over, what's going on during the game. So me and Mike are going to try to put one of those on in the near future. So y'all be looking out for that.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do that. It takes an amount of time. Probably run a smaller game, 500 or 700 points, just to allow for us to.
I would say because I've seen them. It really, honestly, it really goes pretty quick. 1,000, 12,
famous last words.
We could do it.
Famous last words. It'll go fast. You'll die fast.
Maybe put out there to the public what armies they want to see. and we'll take what people vote on and run with it.
Yeah. So, we can, well, to a point, both
Yeah.
Randy and I both have British, Germans, and Americans.
Yep.
So tell us what two armies you'd like to see face off. Matter of fact, drop that in the comments.
Yeah.
And whichever two armies get the top votes, we'll throw those two on the table. So we'll look to see what kind of votes you guys put in. I'll probably put another poll up also on the channel itself. And Randy, I think we'll even put a poll up in the Savannah Garrison and the Savannah gaming community,
Yep.
just to
Sure
see,
can.
of those three armies. Excuse me, what two people want to see play. All right. Well, there we go. I think that's all we have.
Yeah.
Hang on just a minute.
Yeah. And if y'all, anybody wants to make any comments about the Stuarts, if they have an opinion, we'd love to hear it.
That's right. Pro, con, we don't mind.
Yeah.
And as always, we'll have links at the end of the show for our Patreon and our Ko-Fi. If you want to buy us a coffee, for Gator Games and Books web store, where we sell everything you saw today on the Army list, we have for sale at 15% off of MSRP. So we're a little bit cheaper than the Warlord website, and we ship from right here in Florida. Also, we will have the Facebook link for the fall offensive. So if you want to check that out, and I think that's all the good stuff we're going to have on this one. As
Yeah.
always, like, share, subscribe. Go ahead, Randy. What's
Yeah.
that?
I was just saying, yeah, that's it.
And we'll work with Randy on his movie maker skills, and that may not be the last time you guys see me or
I need,
Randy. Yeah,
I
just
need to work on my British accent a little bit. It was terrible, but
I wasn't going to say anything, but did absolutely
well,
like your stop motion photography there.
I'm gonna blame it on my throat. I'm still getting over the sore throat that I had last week, so I'll blame it on that.
I hear you. Well, glad you're feeling better, folks. Thanks for watching. Y'all are a great audience. We've gotten some good feedback about how folks enjoy watching our show, and we certainly intend to keep on putting the videos out. Be watching also about probably tomorrow or Saturday. Today is Thursday the 24th. Probably drop this video the 25th, Friday the 25th. And then Monday, we'll drop a video featuring John Russell. That'd be the 26th, 27th, 28th. Monday, the 28th, we'll drop a video where we will interview John Russell, who heads up the Warlord North America demo team, and with the latest news from Warlord Games on everything that's kind of coming down the pipe from them. With all that being said, this is Gator Games, Gator Garage, signing off.
See you guys.